Bonjour, Anine. Um, this is my second video, so wish me luck. I don't really know where to go from my first video. Um, I had a chance to watch a few other videos from YouTube users who are also adoptees. Um, I would like to send a big Chimigwich, a big thank you to Stephanie Drenka, who is from Texas, I think, and she is a Korean adoptee. She's actually the reason why I was like, I should start a vlog and start talking about like my adoption and stuff like that. So a big thank you to you, Stephanie. Um, I hope you maybe get to see this. Okay, so I'm not really sure, how to start like broaching like these huge topics, especially since they're like one thing, they're like close to my heart, and then so already they're like gonna be difficult to talk about, but then like they're so huge that I couldn't possibly hope to like capture them just in like one sitting or two sittings or five, or I could talk about this stuff forever and still not say everything that needs to be said, really. I don't know. I feel a little bit lucky. I just watched a video where Stephanie was on the Korean broadcast service or station or something, KBS, I think. She was looking for her mom, and I'm just thankful that my search was not as difficult as hers has been. Actually, that's probably a good place to start. I did find my birth parents, and I found them kind of by accidentally on purpose. Accidentally on purpose. Whoops. Because let's see. I had various records that were kept by like various agencies that I dealt with, like through my adoption, through like trying to go and get help. Of course, for my adopted family, it was pretty much too little too late by the time we actually got out of our hell and got help. It was like I was 11 or 12, and it was just too late. Like there was like nothing I could really do at that point to make my situation better, other than just kind of go along with what was happening. And that was actually kind of disorienting and scary, and it was another, like, in a series of lifelong sort of losses. I ended up back in the foster system, and that's kind of how I ended up, like I said, that's kind of how I ended up finding my parents, is that various agencies had kept records, and some records would use my mother's first name, and some records would end up using my mother's last name. So I actually found both records. I had her name, her full name, and I looked her up online, and she had a phone number and an address, and I called her phone number, and it was kind of scary. Like, I had no idea who she was, who she was at that time. And I don't know, it's been a very interesting journey, I would say. Like, it's not been an easy journey, but it's been an interesting one. I got to, you know, we started basically like when I was still in foster care. I was like 17, I think, when I first called her. Um, we basically got permission from my social worker to write letters back and forth. So she started writing me letters in about 2002, and I finally got to go. I finally got to go and meet her. I think it was 2003 or 2004. Um, so, and then I got to meet my dad as well. When I was there, because I ended up staying with my sister Tammy, and Tammy actually lived like right next to my dad. He was living in a duplex that was like right behind her house, kind of. So, so that was kind of interesting. I got to meet him, and we actually like the only time that I actually like really spent like extended period of time with him. Thankfully, it was a pretty positive experience. We played a game of cribbage, and he sent me away with vanilla Coke and cigarettes, which my niece and nephew pretty much drank all the vanilla Coke, and then you know, I had cigarettes. So um, so yeah. But then like after that, I came back up for like I think it was Christmas of that year, and I don't know. At that point, things with him just kind of started going south, and so and now I'm at this point where he is basically refusing to talk to me, because I shared with him that I identify as a two-spirit person, which is basically kind of a modern name for various concepts among indigenous people of North America to refer to people who are differently gendered, or they have a different sexual orientation or different gender than you know, like male or female or whatever. So I identify as a two-spirit person. I also identify just, you know, plain old gay guy, I guess. But yeah, I ended up coming out to him, and I said, you know, because he kept asking about women. He kept asking, you know, are you dating? Are you seeing a woman or whatever? And I was finally just like, you know, I'm this particular way or whatever. And eventually, what happened was he, after that, he didn't even talk to me. He didn't even like tell me himself, but he called my mom and told my mom that he didn't want to talk to me anymore, and that my sister didn't want to talk to me anymore. And my mom basically was like, you need to forget this ain't your main side of your family, you know. You need to forget your dad, you need to forget your brothers and sisters from him, and that wasn't something that I took very easily or lightly. I kind of ignored it completely. So, because I started looking for other family, particularly from my grandfather's generation. I have tons of like relatives at Red Lake, of course, but you know, since my dad really isn't in my life, I kind of, you know, I decided not really to pursue, you know, people like I think I have an uncle that is still alive. I probably have various cousins that are up north in various places. I think one of my sisters is in Duluth, and one of my sisters, the one who's not talking to me anymore, is in Cloquet, and I think my brother is in Cloquet as well. So yeah, first that, but I was like, I can't really do anything with that part of the family, so I went back, and I ended up finding okay, it's weird. I ended up saying a prayer. Our family name is actually a Catholic saint, um, because apparently my grandpa is French Canadian and Métis, at least to my understanding. So our last name is actually a saint's name. So I said a prayer to this particular saint, and I was like, please help me find my relatives, find my grandpa's relatives. And I found a second cousin of mine who is living in Saskatchewan, and started talking to her. I sent her some of the documentation I was able to find related to my grandpa. I don't know, like every once in a while I would just get these urges to like do internet searches for family members, and okay, like one time I was looking for like records pertaining to my grandpa, and the Duluth Public Library had his obituary on file, so I was able to get a picture of that obituary. The librarian was nice enough to send it to me, and unfortunately I still haven't paid for it, but the next time I go up there I definitely will stop by and say, hey, you sent me this record, here you go, because it actually led up to me finding other family members, definitely. And according to the obituary, my grandfather was born in Saskatchewan, and he and his family were living out at Wolf Point, which is on the Fort Peck Reservation in Montana. And I think Fort Peck is is a Sioux and Assiniboine reservation. I'm not sure if they call themselves Lakota or Dakota or Nakota, but that is where my grandfather's family was living. I called up there like probably January of last year, and asked if he was like enrolled out there, and they told me to check with Turtle Mountain, and unfortunately I haven't been able to call over there because Magic Jack, for whatever reason, doesn't place calls into North Dakota at all. So I haven't been able to contact Turtle Mountain to see if the family was enrolled there at all. But according to my cousin, who is in Canada, she said that one of my grandpa's sister's daughter, she and her kids were still living out there the last time that she talked to them, and we still had family out there at Fort Peck on the reservation out there. So I don't know what that means. I really don't know where my grandpa is registered at all, if he's enrolled or not. So that's gonna be another search, I suppose, that I am going to have to embark on. I don't know. I haven't heard from my cousin in a little bit, so I just sent her a letter the other day. So hopefully I'll hear back from her at some point. But I'm kind of used to I hate to say this, but I'm kind of used to like being rejected, or being thought of as crazy or whatever. But anyway, I have to pretty much close this up. So you got to know me a little bit more anyway. And like I said, I will continue making these and posting these, and again, it's my effort to educate the world about the stuff that I was told by the spirit world that I needed to share. Miigwech Bizundaweg, thank you for listening. On my relations.